Thank you, sir, for accepting to be interviewed. Also, this interview is to check on your experience in farming and thank you, sir, for accepting to be in the interview. As they have informed you, this interview is to check your experience in farming, how you receive the supplements and other products of farming. As we informed you, we shall be recording whatever we are speaking. I hope you accept that, and so that we can move on. I accept. My name is Noel Aban, coming from EDG company. So may you please introduce yourself? I'm segirnya Mukasa Kasasa Farmers Cooperative, working as a vice chairperson. I'm a farmer from the village of Bukunda, and also parish, and also same as the village, also in the sub-county of Kasasa, also from Chotara district, from Kakuto. It is very nice to meet you. Let us start with a question which says, as you purchased the farm supplements, like the fertilizers, also the chemicals, how do you get the farm supplements and the products? The best thing, as the cooperative, we started a shop. Also in the place where we reside, also there are some agro shops, agro dealers. Even in Bukunda, I have a farm supply, but we can buy in bulk from Chotela. Also these days I got an agronomist from EDG, Mr. Benon. So sometimes he procures the products from Masaka. Sometimes I call him. What do you depend on to buy your farm supplements? Usually we get companies. First, these companies, they educate us about their products. Sometimes we buy samples, so to test. Also with some farmers, so because of this farmers' demand, we are able also to procure these items or the farm supplements. So what the farmer demand is what we procure or buy. Is there any agronomist who you work with who guides you on the farming, or is there any dealer who you work with? These days we work with Benon, who is coming from EDG. So he organizes trainings. Also the people who learned from him, also they are following, and also it is good for us. Are there other agronomists from the government who you work with? They're there, but sometimes it's not easy to work with them. Sometimes it's not easy to work with them because sometimes they are located at the sub-counties. Even you may never know their names because they don't have time to reach out to the people, even to the farmers. The good thing that we are in a cooperative, as the cooperative can help us to introduce those people to us. Every annual general meeting which is being held, they usually invite all leaders who are dealing in farming. Sometimes we can easily know he's the agronomist, but sometimes we get a chance to see him once in a year. If the product is new on the market, how do you know that it will work for you? How do you teach this product to the farmers? How do you know that this product will work for me? We have a trust with the farmers, the extension workers. We have a trust with those extension workers. So we sample and also test with a few people, and then we pick it up from there. Well, also these days we have the demonstration plots which are being implemented. Also, like on small maize farms, they demonstrate how certain fertilizers they work. Also we go there to witness whatever they say. We are there to confirm whatever they say, whether it is true, through the farms. But sometimes it delays, because sometimes they bring them, but you don't have the money to sample. Lately I've been dealing in them. If the farmer grasps or likes one product, he's only stuck on one product. So usually they don't have other money to spare for experiments and samples or demonstrations. If the company can spread all the demonstration farms, it is very good. It is easy to pick up with new things, new products and supplements. What time does it take you to procure new products and farm supplements? So we don't only farm coffee, but also we do some bananas. Sometimes also in coffee plantations we plant some tomatoes or hot pepper, or sometimes maize. So I cannot say that there is a period where I don't buy any supplement. If you are only on coffee, we only spray every 3 months, we usually spray. Also the fertilizers, we apply them twice a year. Also then you buy fertilizers for maize, because it is the season for maize. Also there's some works also fertilizing the land, also weeding. It is a continuous process. How do you decide who to buy from and who should be your supplier? How do you decide? If I find out that the products are really working and of high quality. Then other two things is the price and accessibility. How do they reach me? The first thing is, do they really work for the farmers? We really don't want things or products which can disappoint us. even the time which is being wasted. Do you buy in bulk or you buy in small samples? As a farmer, we only buy what is which is able to take us through the season. If I'm going to use 4 liters, I only buy 4 liters. Even the seeds same. Have you ever bought something from the farm for farming and then it disappointed you and it never worked? Tell me about it. When I started using the chemicals in 2017. I had a training from some company. This company was training us. It had shown us the supplier. So sometimes it was difficult to buy things which are not on the market. Even now, I work with some company. Sometimes I'm careful of not working with any other company. So that's why I don't have any issues with that. How do you decide how to choose a brand to buy from? What determines 3 things? List 3 things. When I'm going to sow, I have to look for the fertilizer and also the seeds. The seeds you choose, how do you decide? The seeds you plant or you lay in your farm. For example, maize. I first check how many kilos do I need to plant an acre and what is the output at the end of the season. And also I check the maturity period. How long does it take to mature? I also check a question where is the plant or the seeds resistant to diseases or pests. Those, according to the chemicals, what do you base on to buy? What do you base on to buy the supplements? Because there are so many suppliers. So I have to check how effective is it? Is it working? If it is working, so I'll also check the dilution rate. How much water is needed to dilute it. Sometimes they tell you measure 150. Sometimes they say 200. So if you calculate and find where you are saving, then the price comes back and then you do the business. How do you mix also is the third thing. How much should I take? If you go to Procure or the farm supplements, how do you know that the prices are really fair? How do you know that the prices are fair? Sometimes we inquire from different people. And we compare. So I have to also to check. I emphasize that I have to check how does this thing work. That is the most important. So how do you choose the brand and you say that this brand works for me? And which products do you really which products really work for you? Do you find some products which are not working for you, like glycosel or FOSAP? If I'm the one who is going to work on my farm, all I find all the chemicals which I use usually work for me. If really the person who made it, if the original product is what I have received. But some farmers, we work with them, like FOSAP. So some people, they say if it is not FOSAP, don't give me glaucoma. I want FOSAP. But for me, I usually follow how does the agronomist say. Do you think the packaging decides also affects the way you buy the supplements? For example, the liter package works for me more than the 20 liters or half liter or quarter. So I go there working, knowing what I want. But when you go to the village, you find that also the quarter and milliliters, they work for them, because they want only to spray for like 2 pumps. Sometimes they cannot procure all at once. In the middle of the season, how do you make sure that you have all the supplements you need? It's just hard work. Sometimes you forego some things and then you go for the basics, which the most important supplements. So how do you get the supplements? Do they deliver or you pick them? We go and research about these products, but we have got a chance of EDG. I tell Benon to bring, also to send them on taxi, and they are able to reach. Do you have any problem getting these farm supplements? There is no problem because they are abundant. I receive them in abundance when the money is available. When you go to the shop, if you find something which you want is not available, so how do you deal with that? If you don't find what you ordered for, sometimes it does not work for me, but I have to check other shops. I first check where I'm buying. I can find something which can substitute from the current buyer, and then if there is no, then I go to the next shop. So if you buy some supplements and you don't use them after the season, so how do you deal with that? So you keep it and you use it in the next season if it is not expired. What is the distance between your farm and the place where you buy your farm supplements? So I told you I buy from free shops or free places. I buy from home. Usually that place is very quick. I buy from my shop. Also I buy from the cooperative which is near. Also I buy from Masaka. Also Chotara is very far. Also I buy from those places. If you need some products but you don't have cash, how do you deal with that issue? If the suppliers, they know me, also they provide me the supplements which I need, so that relationship is working. In farming, you need people to give you some credit, supplements on credit. How do you like it? It would work best, so it will help to increase the production. It would increase the production and also the fruits, because some will have to forego because of the money, and also the incomes is insufficient. So we choose, but we know something is still lacking. We think it's something is lacking. Sometimes we choose because there is lack, yet we need all of them. So when do you want to, how do you want to cooperate? Do you want to pay after harvest, to pay the debt very, very properly? It needs you pay slowly by slowly. Sometimes you may commit to pay at once, but when you make the sale, you may find you have a lot of debts. But if you pay slowly by slowly, you may find that the lump sum is small. Also, this is another question. In case you have not harvested anything, like your coffee, and yet the season for sowing has arrived, like maize, yet you have some harvest inside your farm. How do you, where do you get the money? Also, getting loans. So sometimes we get loans after harvesting when we are able to pay. Is there any insurance which you use in your farming activities in case of accidents? We don't have any insurance scheme or program, so it means when you have any problem, it just takes everything. So what does the bank say about that? If you go to the bank, insurance is there. When you go to the bank, they give us insurance is there, but the person who has borrowed money is responsible for that. Sometimes also the insurance only comes when you are dead, but if you're not dead, you are in for it. You have to pay everything, every coin. Even sometimes the storm comes, but you have also to take responsibility. Only the insurance comes when you are dead, when the farmer is dead. Even though I lose someone, still I have to repay the loan. Really, banks, they don't care about your insurance. What platform do you use to order your farm supplements? Do you use any or WhatsApp or Facebook? Only when I'm talking with Benon, only Benon I can send WhatsApp message. When you're buying farm supplements, do you use any app to buy or to learn something or to read something? I had it one time, but the project also ended. They had a company which was supporting it, but after the end of the project, also they went with that application. Do you think the platform like social media platforms, they help you more than going to the shop so that you can see exactly what you want to buy than calling? You can only call when you trust the person. We boarded the car at 7:30. We reached Masaka at 10. But if I had called, by 10 the products would be here. But if I'm the one buying, if I buy from Masaka, I go to Masaka to buy. When I come back, it is already in the evening. So communication platforms are really very important and easy. So really it needs trustworthy personnel. Also the people who are transporting, also they are not yet trustworthy. Also that is also a challenge. Sometimes you agree on the price and later they change the prices. Also there are some incidences. Sometimes the agronomist sends the products like Benin. So we find that these products, they reach early in the morning the next day. So if you had a customer, it means you would lose the customer that day. So yet as farmers, when we need something, we really need it. We need it immediately. So how do you communicate? How do you communicate with in your farm business. Usually I make a lot of calls, also some WhatsApp messages. If there is any platform which you can use like these apps, do you think would it be easier ordering from a platform? If there is any platform which is trustworthy, it would be the best. Even the person who is sending is, when the person sending is trustworthy. Have you ever received any product which is low of quality? When the quality is not satisfactory, I've never received such a product. Have you ever supplied some product to a person and you find that the person is not contented with the product you have supplied? No, I've not even met such people, but usually they don't know even how the product works. They don't know how to use the products. So most of the farmers, they don't know how the supplements they work. There are some which work slowly. Sometimes they think if you spray one day. So there are some herbicides which are used in maize. I gave it to the people. All of them, they came back with the products. They said it is not working. Refund us. But I talked with them. But I told them, don't spray again where you already sprayed. They were even asking for another batch. But after some days, they could praise me. So farmers, they need a lot of sensitization. We tell them that this will take some time. Yeah. Maria. So apart from the agronomist or the shop where you buy the things or the supplements, where do you get other knowledge or about the farm supplements? About the spraying, about the planting season, about dealing with the pests. There are also some organizations apart from government. So there are some NGOs also which train us about our cooperatives and also farmer groups. There are so many companies, they give us trainings. How about radio trainings? Also we tune on the radios a lot. Also we listen so much about your programs. Also, the Weedmaster is selling because of one radio program, because of CBS, because people are stay tuned on these programs. So sometimes the people ask who buy these supplements. Sometimes you are advertising for another product, but you find the people, they demand for other products like NutriPlant. So they listen always to the new products which are coming, which they have listened to. So really, so even they listen from the radio, they really trust what they have listened. They think the one who is being hosted is an expert and is very knowledgeable about the topic, and also the radio is credible. If you have any question which you would want to ask an agronomist, what question would it be? What would be your biggest challenge, or what would be your request? So also there is I would request a chemical for kanyowa, or what we call free gloves. The gloves. So, also there is that weed which is called kanyewa. So when you uproot it, you find that the seed of this weed remains in the ground. So you find when it is rain season, they sprout out quickly. Yet in the dry season, they all die at once. That is one. The next one, also I would like to request for a chemical which helps. There's something which is called akatavi, or the branching in coffee. There's a pest which feeds on the branches. Also, I would like the prices of that should not be so high, and to get a product which can withstand with time, which is long lasting, which does not need to be sprayed every month. Because we have so many other issues. So if you say you have to spray the coffee every month, that is a lot of work. If you get some chemicals for that, there is some which is on the market, but the price is high. And next also our fertilizers. Also espresso, one of the herbs. One time I gave it to one farmer who had a lot of trust in me. At first he said, "Oh, this fertilizer is very good." But later I told him, "You wait for the results." But later the person says, "These people, they sold us stones." So, but it worked. But some people, the way they view it is just like they sold them stones. If they don't trust you, even though they trust you, those people who take like kilos, you have sometimes to explain and also elaborate. So I would like the company also to change those products which look like stones, and also try to find another way of presenting them. If they can make at least one stone, whether it is blue, having all the elements, it would be good. So what problems are you worried about in the next season? Drought. Usually, this season it was really a problem. It has affected us in the coffee plantation. By this time, I did not plant in maize, but I see those people also who are planting maize also. The drought is a big problem to them, or too much sunshine. Also, we have H-Kata, also which is called red blister in coffee. Also, we are worried about that. Also, that product needs a lot of research. I'll inquire from my bosses and see how we can deal with that H-Kata. As also there's increased drought and a lot of dryness, is there any way to provide easier irrigation methods? Is there any service you want us to deliver to you which is not available? Either a loan service or marketing. What what service do you want first? I'll emphasize it more. It is more about accessing the credit or loans, loaning us these farm supplements so that we can pay slowly by slowly. Also reduction of the price. Also, I'm requesting that these agronomists, they can also be able to reach us, because these days even the agronomist comes from Osaka and reaches Mutukula. Every time when we meet these people, there's always a change in our inputs or farm products. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Thank you for your time and thank you for the conversation.